Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm Hastriany and I would like to deliver my paper with the title The Sense of Wearing Hijab for International Relations, University Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta Female Students. So without any further ado, let's get started. So today hijab is becoming a profitable industry. Therefore, globally, Indonesia has become a big market in the Muslim fashion industry with the largest Muslim population, including hijabs. Various brands and various models, colors, vendors are massively offering hijabs to influence the way Muslim women dress in Indonesia. Commodification in this century has been galvanizing in the modern society until this phenomenon occurs in various life joints, continuing in the social and cultural level of religious life, especially the use of hijab as a religious symbols for women. In Indonesia itself, female Muslims often wear hijab in their all daily life or all day activities, such as in the office, on campus, and during a quality time, especially hang out with friends. And hijab eventually become a formal garment for Muslim women in Indonesia. Many Indonesian women decided to wear hijab based on religious observance, while others regard it as a pragmatist practice only. And among students themselves, the use of hijab has begun to develop in the 1990s. Is then developed at seen students today at Muslim universities such as Islamic State University, Indonesian Muslim University, Islamic University of Indonesia, and a private one as a University of Muhammadiyah. Listed on campus regulations requiring female students to wear hijab. Students at Muslim colleges experience these, but students in public schools or universities has also switched to using hijab as part of daily life. The proposal of wearing hijab itself, there are several reasons, such as the obligation as human being to God, the obligation as women who looks after themselves, and even the obligation as a student to the campus, because the campus has the regulations to their female students wear hijab in the lectures. Nowadays, many studies about hijab, such as the example that I read is the studies from and research from the Uniment and Ulika, that they have examined how students respond to the hijab daily. However, only a few of them focus on the hijab's meaning for students or discuss students' perceptions of hijab. Meanwhile, there are deepened research about the essence of hijab in the daily life of female students in the University of Islamic University, especially in University Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. So, according to the background, in this study was conducted by me to analyze the purpose and essence of hijab, especially for female students international relations of University Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. I was interested to research with the following questions that would be guided my research. The first, what are the meanings of the use of hijab for University Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta International Relations female students? And the second, how can the use of hijab affect the daily life of University Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta International Relations female students? So the definition of hijab itself, what is hijab actually? For some, hijab is simple. Hijab can also mean closeness to God and self-protection as a Muslim woman. For others, the hijab is probably a lifestyle, modernity, mobility, and self-identity in the middle of society. These two poles are always intertwined in the lives of Muslim women in Indonesia. These views have their own rationalization of self-protection called hijab or veil in Indonesia. The use of hijab itself for women is not separated from the space in which they live. However, the hijab is always directly related to the background of education, a culture, and outlook on someone's lifestyle. Hijab in the dictionary means the head covering that some Muslim women wear in daily life when they are outside. In the scientific dictionary itself, the definition of hijab literally is a curtain of veil. But the meaning of hijab in Islam is an Arabic word meaning barrier, which often leads to hijab. But in Islam, especially, the hijab is not limited to the hijab alone or literally hijab, but it is the appearance of behavior of human beings, of women every day. Jackson and Turner in the journal International Women's Studies noted that it's also to keep in mind that there are concept of hijab involves more than covering just the head and hair. Some of the women of this study that this hijab means more than simply the attire is worn. It is an act of modesty in terms of behavior that accompanies the hijab. Reason behind wearing hijab. According to the Savitri Yuliha, she pointed out that as many as 75% of female students at the Faculty of Dawah and Communication, they wear hijab as a part of the fashion and trend, which means that the hijab is considered of their lifestyles needs of them. So actually, there are various reasons of women wear hijabs, such as the first, for theological reasons, whether it is because of the long struggle to finally believe that the hijab is garment required in Islam itself, or because the pressure of fear of sin, and the second, veiled by coercion, such as regulations that require hijabs as in a certain institutions. For example, for psychological reasons also, feeling uncomfortable for women because thinks that everyone in their neighborhood is veiled due to seek security in the society for their identity and afford the demands of lifestyle. This is related to the fashion or the needs of the fashion to women to look beautiful and trendy. And the sixth or the last reason is political reasons, that it's barely to meet certain Islamic groups demands that promote religious symbol as a political trait. Genuine found that women who used to wear hijabs and interpreted hijab as their identity as Muslim after experiencing struggles in their lives. The pattern of religious orientation has nothing to do also with why a person or a woman needs to wear hijab or do or doesn't wear hijab. For example, gentlemen also found that there are no longer a few hijab as the availability yet as an outfit they can wear and take off. He, gentleman, also explains that the religiosity of women who take off hijab does not then become faded. It is not uncommon for them to feel more religious and more able to deepen and live the commandments of religion. The hijab among students. So currently we know that in the past hijab is known for the santriwati that entered the broadcasting schools in Indonesia, but currently the existence of hijab has penetrated the school environment, both formal and non-formal in Indonesia. Public and private schools or university are now starting to freely give freedom to female students to wear the hijab in the school environment. Because in the past, there are some regulations to the female students to not wear hijab in the school environments because their regulations is for the general women, they're not wearing hijab. But right now, the hijab existence is more accepted in Indonesia. So the research mission that I adopted in this paper is a qualitative design to explore the response of female students of international relations, University Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, to the sense of hijab used for them and students' feelings toward the meaning of hijab based on religion in their beliefs. The step were the first, I interviewed 4 students from the Department of International Relations of University Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta Yogyakarta. And then I did online interview by using the WhatsApp voice call platform to avoid the direct spread or impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. And the interview results are transcribed and analyzed to answer the research questions. And the findings is the meaning of the use of hijab for international relations female students of University Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. So all participants interviewed were female students of international relations with a span of experience using the hijab from 5 years until 10 years. Yeah, 3 students have different definitions of the hijab. So some say that among the participants, some say that hijab is sheet or the cloth that covers the head area of women. Besides, it is used to cover the genitals and define the hijab as representation of Muslim women who must cover their awrah. Some also explain that the hijab as a piece of important advice in Islam to cover the awrah for women. And besides, there are several reasons why participants wear hijab. The first answer that one thing in common is namely demand. So there, 2 of them answered that using the hijab was a demand and coercion from their parents. But meanwhile, the other participants say that the wearing hijab, she wear the hijab was a demand from the university. In this case, the policy of University Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. And the participants' understanding the law of wearing hijab as Muslim women seems to vary. For them, the obligation of Muslim women to wear the hijab is stated in the Al-Quran. And then the effect of using hijab in the daily life of University Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta International Relations female students. From the interview that I conducted, one participant stated that she's a permanent hijab user. So she used to wear hijab for 10 years, and which means wearing the hijab when leaving the house or close or fast distance. Meanwhile, the 2 others answered that they only use the hijab when they go to campus as an obligation from UMY. Furthermore, when asked about whether there had been any changes in daily life after they were wearing hijab, the participants had their various reasons and experiences. And interestingly, one participant that stated she is a permanent hijab user stated that she does not get anything special from wearing the hijab. Meanwhile, the 2 other participants stated that they felt different things, especially for psychologically. She stated that she had to do everything well when wearing the hijab daily, like the second participant who explained that when she uses the hijab every day, she can feel psychologically changes. Make sure that she doesn't do anything wrong. The discussion. This study found that the sense of hijab used among international relations University Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta female students was diverse, such as Islamic family background, self-encouragement, and coercion from university policies. So every student has a view and a meaning of hijab by themselves, which is not right for others to forcefully change that view, and which means that everyone cannot easily decide or judge others to act as to what they think is best. University Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta female students of international relations also have their own experiences with the hijab they wear in daily. Their good or bad deeds are not directly related to the meaning of hijab in general, as stated by Jineman in his previous research, that the pattern of religious orientation has nothing to do with the person wears or does not wear the hijab. This findings directly supports previous research by Jineman, which states that the use of hijab among students can be by coercion, such as regulations requiring hijabs as in certain institutions. In this case, the coercion from or the regulations that stated by University Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta to their female students. Conclusions. This study is aimed to find the essence of wearing hijab for international relations University Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta female students. In Indonesia, female Muslims often wear hijab in daily life activities such as in the office, on campus, and during equality time, especially hanging out with friends. And hijab eventually become a formal garment of them. So I think that's all from me. Thank you for your attention and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.